Hello students, welcome to Medchal Buddy video classes. I am K. Swapna, ACA Social Studies, working at ZPHS Srirangavaram, Medchal Mandal. Students, today we are going to discuss about the lesson Sustainable Development with Equity Part 2. Sustainable Development. It is the development that meets the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Students, let us learn what sustainable development is and see in this lesson how we can take steps to achieve it. And also in this lesson we will learn about many environmental problems and think of solutions to them. Narmada River. Today, there are countless cases where attempts at modern development have caused large-scale the environmental problems. The case of big dams is a classic case and the one that has a very painful consequences. The Narmada Valley Development Project is the single largest river development scheme in India. Let us now find out what kind of troubles the people will face by building a dam on another river. Narmada Bachao Andolan. The resistance to Sardar Sarovar and other dams in the Narmada Valley has taken the form of social movement. It is called Narmada Bachao Andolan. Narmada Bachao Andolan was started to oppose the construction of dam across Narmada River. The NBA fought against displacement, destruction and disparity. Advantages and disadvantages of construction of dams. Advantages. The huge amount of water is stored. Water for irrigation is available. Electricity generation. Flood and droughts are controlled. Level of groundwater increases in adjacent areas. Livelihood for fisher folk. Disadvantages. Destroying fertile land, submerged large hectares of forest and agriculture land, devastation of human lives and biodiversity, displacing for many people, loss of livelihood. The Narmada Valley Development Project is the single largest river development scheme in India. It is one of the largest hydroelectric projects in the world and is supposed to generate power, provide irrigation and help with flood control. The environmental cost of such a project, which involves the construction of more than 3,000 large and small dams, are immense. Sardar Sarovar project. The project floods more than 37,000 hectares of forest and agriculture land. It displaced more than 5 lakh people. It destroyed some of India's most fertile land. The project has devastated human lives and biodiversity. Let us now discuss how the tribals of Jalasindhi village got into trouble due to the construction of a dam on the Narmada River. The following letter was written by Baba Mahalia of Jalasindhi village in Jhubua district to the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh in 1994. We, the people of Jalasindhi village, district Jhubua, are writing this letter to you, the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh. We are people of the river bank. We live on the banks of the great Narmada. This year, 1994, our village Jalasindhi will be the first village in Madhya Pradesh to be submerged by the Sardar Sarovar Dam. Along with us, 4 or 5 other villages will also be drowned. When the water comes into our village, when our homes and fields are flooded, we will also drown. This is our firm resolve. We are writing this letter to let you know why the Adivasi peasants of Jalasindhi who are coming under submergence are preparing to drown themselves. You and all those who live in cities think that we who lives in the hills are poor and backward like apes. Go to the plains of Gujarat, your condition will improve. You will develop. This is what you advise us. But we have been fighting for 8 years. We have borne lathi blows, been to jail several times. In Anjanwara village, the police even came and fired on us and destroyed our homes. If it is true that our situation will improve in Gujarat, then why aren't all of us even now ready to go there? The link between environment and lives of the rural people. For most rural communities, the link between the environment and the lives of the people is very strong. Access to environment serves a large number of their needs like food, firewood, economically valuable articles, which otherwise they would have to pay. As they lost this access to environment, either because of displacement or because the environment is destroyed and polluted, the poor are the greatest sufferers. It is important to realize that not only do people lose out as they are removed from their local environment, the environment is equally denuded of its rich biodiversity as traditional knowledge is lost along with the people. Jalasindhi people. Tribal people are living in the forest for generations. Tribal people depend on the forest for their livelihood. They can gather all the things from the forest. They can celebrate festivals collectively. They can live with their clan relatives and kin. Their lives are nil without local environment. Agriculture is not possible without money. Their ancient learning very useless and forgotten. All their gods are there in the village. Observe this picture. The same way we have to make movements for every little thing as we continue to pollute the environment. Chipko movement. It was an environmental movement started in 1970s in Garhwal Himalayas of Uttarakhand by Sundarlal Bahuguna. The village women hugged the trees, saving them from contractors' access. Chipko means embrace. Like the tribal people of Narmada Valley, the forests are a critical resource for the subsistence of people in hilly and mountainous areas. This is both because of their direct provision of food, fuel and fodder, and because of their role in stabilizing soil and water resources. As these forests were being increasingly felled for commerce and industry, villagers sought to protect their livelihoods through non-violent resistance. The name of the movement comes from the word chipko, the meaning embrace. The villagers hugged the trees, saving them by interposing their bodies between them and the contractors' access. Village women were the main force of this movement. It inspired many people to look closely at the issue of the environment sustainability. While each of these movements has slightly different context, they are essentially demanding the rights of the local communities over the environment. Chipko movement acted to prevent the cutting of trees and reclaim their traditional forest rights that were threatened by contractors. Narmada Bachao Andolan has stood for the rights of the people over land, forest and river. We are already experiencing the negative consequences of rapid economic growth on several fronts. The problem of groundwater and pesticides being two stark examples. We have several thousands of communities living off the environment. To destroy the environment means to destroy these communities. It is unjust to ask the poor people to bear the cost of development. Minerals and mining is becoming more and more prevalent 2010 year. So the profit is the same as the loss also. The environment and human cost due to rapid growth of mining. Stock of valuable minerals decreases. It leads to the emission of dust, suspended particle and gases which cause air pollution. Underground water is also contaminated. Mining leads to the degradation of soil quality, fertility. Deforestation, which results in less flora and fauna. People can die due to accidents in mining. Workers in mining constantly inhale dust which causes the black lung disease. Observe the picture. Emissions from vehicles are a major cause of environmental pollution. In a series of rulings 1998 onwards, the Supreme Court had ordered all public transport vehicles using diesel were to switch to compressed natural gas (CNG). This is a cleaner fuel compared to diesel. As a result of this move, air pollution in cities like Delhi came down considerably. However, in the recent years, the pollution levels have gone up again. Because of the huge rise in the number of private cars run on diesel, car manufacturers have started producing and selling cars run on diesel. The challenge of sustainable development is not an easy one. Organic farming. Use of natural techniques in farming such as crop rotation, compost, and biological pest control instead of chemical fertilizers and pesticides called organic farming. So students, we can also preserve the earth fertility by promoting organic farming can provide the land of our predecessors. In the area of agriculture production, you might have heard about organic products and organic farming. Organic farmers forego the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Instead, they rely mainly on natural techniques such as crop rotation, compost, and biological pest control in farming. One of the main characteristics of organic agriculture is the use of local resources, including on the farm biological process such as availability of pest predators like birds, spiders, insects, or soil microorganisms, which make nutrients more accessible to the plant. The use of synthetic chemical inputs is minimized and farms can be biodiverse as they produce a number of crops rather than only one or two crops. Furthermore, production levels can be maintained similar to modern agriculture methods. Now, many states have realized the need and potential of organic farming. Local level initiatives have influenced state policy. The Sikkim government has taken the bold step to ban chemical fertilizers and pesticides. It is the first state in India that is planning to shift completely to organic farming by 2015. At the same time, Uttarakhand is following the same path of being 100% of organic state. Organic farming major advantages: increases soil fertility, reduces production cost, no environmental cost, increases biodiversity, no effects on human health, increases yield of production also. Observe this picture. Students, think we have to lose many of the nomadic species that live on earth because we think about development. In the year 2013, a new photography book called Before They Pass Away was published. We do not have access to the book. The author identified nomadic communities that are only the verge of disappearing. As you look at think of how and why the question of sustainable. Promoting the use of millets. Cultivation of dry land gives people the work. Food security can be assured without the help of government. People health can be improved with the supply of high nutritious food. Instead of the grain traveling, locally produced food can be available. Of the total cultivatable land in India, 92 million hectares is rain-fed area and 51 million is irrigated area. This means nearly 2/3 of cultivatable land in India is rain-fed and may not be fit for irrigated agriculture. Traditionally, a mix of crops suited to the dry land conditions were grown in these areas. For example, the dry land agriculture of the Deccan Plateau had a mixture of 16 crops sown at the same time. These have varying maturity period, which results in extended period of work and continuous supply of incomes and or food gave. This also minimized the risk factor, where at least one crop will give yield even in adverse climate conditions. Mixed cropping also reduced the chance of any insects becoming a major pest. The crops were so chosen to provide balanced and nutritious food to the land, human population and the livestock. In Jahirabad Mandal of Medak district of Telangana, villagers have reserved the dependence on purchased wheat and rice. It all began around the year 2000 as the women began to reflect on the loss of local food cultures. Millets were the traditional staple of the region, which had been lost to rice. Rice is nutritionally inferior compared to millets. Besides poor nutrition, people also realized that they had lost control on what grew on their land. Many fields were now fallow. Led by a voluntary organization, Deccan Development Society, the villagers collectively decided to cultivate the fallow land, and the common millets were the obvious crop choice because of their sustainability to the local the environment. Millets are hardly crops and nutritious. Cultivation of dry land gave people work. Further, instead of selling the produce outside, the community started Community Grain Bank. This operated on the principle of the PDS system. Only it was locally managed and the grain was the local grain. Instead of the grain traveling hundreds of kilometers, locally produced food was now available to ensure food security in the village. Students, we noted that modern development has accentuated the problems of the environmental destruction. This is today felt in many ways and quite starkly. From development centered on growth of goods and services, the goal has to shift towards sustainable development with equity. Everyone has a role to play in this transformation. Individuals, companies, farmers, governments, courts, voluntary and community organizations and international organizations also. Thank you, students.